Planet Dolan.
From hummingbirds stealing homework to cats putting food in bowling ball bags, the Planet Dolan crew reenacts some of the best true stories from our subreddit about the dumbest excuses we have ever heard. My name is Nixium, and today I'll be your narrator. Number 10 was submitted by Silver0298MSP. The dumbest excuse Robo ever heard came from her friend. It was when Robo turned 11, and she wanted to have a party and invite all of her friends over. She especially wanted to make sure to invite her two best friends. However, one of them texted Robo saying, "Sorry, I have to wash my goldfish. Sorry, girl." Even worse, that was the only time Robo was allowed to invite any of her friends over. She nearly cried and to this day rarely talks about that alleged friend. Number 9 was submitted by MZiz34. When she was in 5th grade, Gooby had a guy in her class who was known to make up the dumbest excuses as to why he didn't have his homework. One time, he said that 4 hummingbirds had stolen his homework even though hummingbirds didn't live in Gooby's area. Gooby's excuses, on the other hand, were logical. One time she said that her mom took her 2 hours away to a ball game when she got home from school and they didn't get home until after midnight. All of Gooby's excuses, including that one, never worked. However, the guy in her class, that guy never got in trouble. Number 8 was submitted by Rapid Thrash. One of Hellbent's co-workers at a scrap metal business once came in over 2 hours late. He said that he forgot how to change a tire after running over a broken bottle. Hellbent asked him, "Then why didn't you just call a tow truck?" His co-worker answered, "My phone was dead." At that moment, his cell phone rang. "Really?" said Hellbent. That was when the co-worker told him to fuck off and be glad that he even showed up. Hellbent looked at his car in the parking lot outside the warehouse. None of the tires looked new or recently replaced. His co-worker ended up getting fired a few months later for coming to work drunk. Number 7 was submitted by EorLover12. The dumbest excuse Andy ever heard was when she was helping her little sister learn how to bake. She gave her some recipes to try, and then, when she was done, Andy would taste test the dish and grade it. The next day, when her little sister had to bring the food she baked, Andy asked, "Where is your homework?" Her little sister said, "Well, I was coming here. A savage monkey riding a fox with an army of cats surrounding it told me to hand over the pie. I told him it was my homework, but he snatched it out of my hands and he screamed, 'I'm the Monkey King,' before stuffing it in his mouth and riding off." She then gave Andy an awkward smile. Andy bent over and whispered, "You live here." Her little sister froze, looked to her left, and then ran away. Number 6 was submitted by LyricalTragedy. When Honeybits was 8, and her sister was 4, they played in a youth bowling league. So they had their own bowling balls and bowling ball bags. They also were not allowed to have food up in their rooms. Now one evening, her cunning little sister decided that she wanted to eat upstairs, but would have to sneak it up. She put a bowl of spaghetti in her bowling ball bag and tried to sneak it upstairs when her dad caught her. "What are you doing?" he asked. She replied, "I just wanted to look at my bowling ball bag upstairs." Their dad was obviously not convinced, and he instructed her to open her bowling ball bag. At first, she hesitated, then argued for a bit before finally opening it. When he asked her why she put spaghetti in her bag, she answered, "I didn't put it in there, the cat did." Now that Honeybit's sister is 16, their dad still likes to tease her about it. Number 5 was submitted by TwaVisor123. When he was in 10th grade, MKylM school was having a student council meeting, and one of the teachers was late. When she finally arrived, MKylM asked, "Why were you late?" The teacher replied, "Narnia was calling." He responded, "What?" She said, "Truth be told, it was Professor Snape." "Are you on drugs?" MKylM asked. She said in a drunk, doozy voice, Well, I may have been off my meds. She continued, Of course not. Don't you kids have an imagination? You should get detention for thinking that. MKLM asked again, Why were you late? The teacher said, Okay, geez, I got an STD and had a doctor's appointment. He whispered to his friend Gergak, I wonder who with. The teacher heard him and said, With Professor Kragan. Everyone just sat there staring at her in bewilderment at what she had just told them. That was when she broke down crying, screaming, I'm so sorry, God and Jesus! I'm such a whore! Please forgive me in my lying ways! Help me find the eyes of God again! While she continued to cry her eyes out and wail, everyone sat there and looked at each other. Then MKLM sat with her and said, It's okay. After that, he could never look at his teacher in the eye again. Number 4 was submitted by Shift Wild. At Ramona's school, there was a boy in her class who always gave the dumbest excuses. It was mostly why he didn't do his homework, such as, I have too many chores at home, or I was doing work for other classes, or simply, I forgot. The dumbest excuse was when he was absent for the entire day, but came to school during the final period. Ramona and the rest of the class just stared at him, wondering why he even bothered. The boy said, Sorry I'm late. I overslept and thought it was Saturday. Also, I had to walk here and I only ate toast for breakfast. The teacher, who wasn't buying any of it, just stared at him in disbelief. She replied with, Oh, so that wasn't you across the street at Subway talking to your friends while eating footlongs? Everybody giggled as he screamed, It was my twin! The teacher was done with him and just told him to go home. After that, he didn't talk to anybody. Number 3 was submitted by WolvesRMyLife. When Lady Bot was in 7th grade, she had history with her friend Melissa, where they worked on a project. The project was a poster that required a lot of tape. All the tape dispensers in the classroom were empty, so Melissa went to the teacher and asked if she could use his tape. He said that she could, but she had to return it when she was done. While Lady Bot and Melissa continued to work on their project, another group asked if they could use the tape. Lady Bot said they could, and soon, more groups began to use the tape. It got to the point where almost everybody in the entire class was using the teacher's tape. At one point, the little holder for the tape disappeared, so Melissa told the teacher. The teacher ended up getting angry and asked her how it got lost. She tried to think of an excuse, then said,
It somehow got inside a water bottle that someone threw away.
Furious, the teacher ran over and grabbed the tape dispenser. He threw it in the trash, denting the wall in the process. Number 2 was submitted by Squiggy Boy. In school, Dolan and his group were working on a project. Almost everyone in the group worked very hard, except for one person who decided to talk to the other classmates. Since his phone wasn't working, Dolan asked the guy, Could you send an email with your Gmail account? The guy said, I don't have a Gmail account. I only have a Google Mail account. Everyone in Dolan's group laughed their heads off, with the guy staring at them in confusion. And number 1 was submitted by me. When I was in school, there was a troublemaking kid named Rex, who was our class clown. One day while collecting homework, my teacher approached him and of course, Rex did not have his homework with him. The teacher asked him where it was, frustrated and annoyed, to which Rex calmly responded, Well, I did it, but Dan over there stole it from out of my backpack while he was fingering my butthole in the bathroom. The whole class burst into laughter, and can you believe it? Rex got detention. Alright, so a huge thanks to the folks over at our Planet Dolan subreddit for submitting their stories. We have another question for you though. What's the weirdest punishment you have ever received? Let us know in the Reddit page linked below, and you might be featured in a future countdown.
This video was made possible by our fans over on Patreon. Thanks for your support, guys.
Alright, mortals. Until next time. See ya!